Because I learned that there was a situation in reality that goes on at the border. My husband is from a town nearby, and so I heard about it. And I was interested because women often do this smuggling back and forth across the river, Mohawk women.
From the Frozen River?
Yeah. They drive their cars across the river. I've done it. I mean, I didn't smuggle, but I went in the car. And it's very dangerous, and it's very scary, and I wondered what would possess a woman to take such a risk.
So that's the question you had?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first question. And then I wondered how two women from two different cultures, would they be able to trust each other in the face of danger, risk of death. I wanted these two women from two different cultures to see if they could stand together, and at what moment in the film they would connect with each other, speak to each other. And I thought, if they don't speak to each other through the whole film, then that's what it will be. And I just wanted to write from a truthful place.
I was when I said in the theater that I was fine. It's not because I had some fancy trailer and they whisked me in at the last minute only to be there for the shooting. It was quite the opposite of that. It was a question of preparation on my own part. I've lived in the Northeast a lot of my life. I lived with a ski instructor. There's very good fabrics to keep you warm. There's ways to change your socks in the middle of the day, so if you sweated a bit in your boots, you have a dry sock in the afternoon. Misty and I spent a great deal of time when it wasn't shooting and they were setting the shot up, just sitting in the green car that I came to call the Mighty Spirit. And that was our holding area, and every once in a while, if the crew was a distance from the exhaust, we would turn the car on and have a little heat, and would turn it off, and Misty would say, turn it back on, and I would say, no, you don't get too warm, because then you feel colder. To regulate my temperature, I went as often as I could to the local YMCA to heat my body, and again, to regulate my temperature so I wouldn't get sick. I enjoyed every second of the shoot with a fullness of heart completely, and knew that there were people outside of the car with their little noses falling off.
No, I did it by necessity. I wouldn't do that again. It's really, really difficult because in the States there's no financing, there's no help to arts of any kind. So in order to arouse interest in the idea of the feature, I really had to make a short. And so I did it by necessity.
Really?
Both of our lives.
Yeah.
It made nothing into something.
Okay.
It was that drastic and that extreme. I went from no career to a career.
Yeah.
And the benefits and the tension and the
big focus on
huge. Sundance is critical to the success of any American independent, and there are a few exceptions. There are not many. With a film like this, where it doesn't have the demographic of white males from the ages 18 to 25, that's not the target audience. They're included, but they're not the main idea. When you're going after a demographic outside that group, you had better do well at Sundance. That's just the way it is.